Yeah. Meanwhile, do we have any doubts? No doubts. Sitaram, Prince, Srilakshmi. Are you guys preparing for the interviews? Anything reading by yourself, something?
Yes, Amulya. Yes, in the last class, Amulya, you asked for add local and add source properties, right?
Yeah.
In those are for installing features, right? Should we talk about it during the class or?
Yeah. So now also you can tell me. Anyway, I'm going to tell about MSA only today.
Oh, okay.
Sure. So you can go ahead, whatever you have read.
Okay. So, it's like we will give these properties in the command line, right? To install features.
Yes.
So if add loc, I read like I haven't used all this, so I'm just telling based on what I have read.
Yeah,
So in add local, it is mentioned like if we give some feature in add locally equal to some feature, then it is said to install locally, and the add source is like it is said to install from the source, it seems. So so from the source means they are telling to say that, meaning to tell that it is from network source, and this is from the local machine. Add local is from the current machine what we have. Is it like that?
Yeah, I'll tell you the difference.
Okay.
First, add local and add source are useful to install particular feature in an MSI. Okay. What is the feature means while installing any kind of installer, we'll get options, right? Like select this option, like typical custom also, and also some other options like features in Visual Studio and all. We'll get some features. Sure, I have a documentation. See, while installing, we have this kind of features, right? This is a little bit clumsy, but while installing, we'll get the options, right, to select or deselect. So to select those options remotely, this feature, this is one particular feature, and this is one particular feature. You want a clear picture of it, or you are okay with it?
Yeah, that's okay.
It's okay, right? While installing, you will get options, right, to select. Like if there are too many features, like for Visual Studio, there are like you want to install Visual C++ alone, or you want to install some other tools along with it, whether you want to install Visual Web Developer. So these are all options. So these options are categorized into features. If you see this first one, my cursor, Microsoft Visual Studio 2005, this is the feature. This is one feature under which you have language tools, and these are all the subcomponents. So this particular feature can be named with something, okay, one feature, and we can select it along with the MSI actually. So I'll try to open on MSI. To install particular features, we'll use add local. If you are giving like add local is equal to all, means that will install all the features in the MSI. Add local is equal to all means this will install all the features by default. Okay, all the features inside the MSI by default. Add source is also for same purpose, but if you see like we are installing from which place, think you are installing from this place. Okay, so if you're installing the MSI from this location like C training and this MSI, then that MSI will get installed from this location only. Okay, while you're using add local. Okay, local means the local path in your machine, like users machine's local path. What will be his users machine local path? Something in this is my PC, C, this PC, and C drive, D drive, G drive are there. So the that particular MSI can install inside C drive or from C drive or from D drive. Okay, you're getting right. The MSI path I kept is like I place the MSI here. So while installing using the add local property for an MSI, that will install from this location only. Okay, while using add source, that will install from the source. Add source means if the source is in particular location, see, just now I opened one location, right? This location. What is this location? This is a kind of path
Network level.
network level. This is kind of path to some other machine or some other network path where you can find the binary. Okay, this is called a source path. If you use add source, then MSI won't get downloaded in user machine. Okay, if you are installing, right, your MSI won't get copied in your C drive or D drive. It won't be there in your local system. It will be installed from this remote or network location. Okay, we'll call it as a source path. This is the source path where it exists, and MSI will be picked from that source path. Okay, so add source is some installing of MSI from source path. Source path is nothing but some network path, remote location kind of. Okay, from other system, from other machine. Okay, you got the difference.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sitaram and friends, you got it. Actually, while installing MSI, right, we'll give after
Okay,
the MSI. If you have any doubts, please ask me. While installing MSI,
means SAP setup file,
mm,
which location need to install?
add local means your local path in your machine. Okay, your the client machine, some path which is in the user's machine, some path. Okay, physical path, C training or D drive, anything in the user's machine.
Machine. Okay.
If it is add source means then is installed from a network location directly. Okay, some remote path.
Setup file pick from that path.
Yes, setup
Yes,
will be picked from this path. In this way, you generally use it for a bulk kind of software. Like if the software is too much in size, right? Or you don't want that to be installed on the client machine, like downloaded on the client machine. Whenever we install a software, what happens? First, it gets downloaded to the user machine and then it will get installed, right?
Yes.
That download part is skipped here. Okay. Add source means installing from that remote location or network location. How you will install means you will give MSI exec/i and path of the MSI. You already know this, right? How you give path of the MSI, and then you give the property as add local is equal to all. Means it will install all the features. If it has some features, two features, feature 1 and feature 2, if you give feature 1, then it will install only feature 1. Okay. Features I'll show you. Actually, in this one feature is only there. If you see here, right, there is a product. This is a product PowerShell. Okay. Here, this is a product. And if you see there it is written features and components. Okay. This is the feature, PowerShell feature. Like this, two features or three features, any kind of features can be there. In this particular PowerShell feature, this many files or components are being installed. Okay. Think that in PowerShell feature, a feature called PowerShell, it is installing some 100 files. Okay. In feature 2, it is installing some 20 files. But you think that the feature 2 20 files are not needed for your requirement. Okay. After installation also, you don't need these 20 files. So what we will do, you'll only choose to install this particular feature called PowerShell. Okay. PowerShell is nothing but a feature here. You can also consider this as feature 1 if 2 for understanding. Okay. So there are features. Features are nothing but a group of files only. Okay. So you will choose which feature to install. Okay. So while installing also the basic installation, just I showed you in the documentation, right? You have options to select. Like that only in MSI also we can select the particular feature, whether you want to install this language tool, some other option, .NET framework. So whatever it is, you can choose manually. Same way you can choose it using add local property. Okay. Add local feature 1 means only this particular feature 1 is installed and you will get the 100 files. If you are using feature 2, okay, then it will install only these 20 files. It won't install these 100 files. Okay, any doubt? Every MSI is divided into features. Features can be one or many. If there are many features, you can select the particular feature you want. A feature can have files, shortcuts, and registries. Okay. So if you think some shortcut is there here, main shortcut is there here, and all the required files are there here, then you don't need this 20 files. 20 files can be something additional files, some color part, or something you don't want. Okay. So you can ignore this feature and install only this particular feature using this property. Okay. Rest of the thing you can Google and read also. Okay. After giving this property, you can again give your silent switches. Okay. And install the application. Okay. Got it.
అమూల్య గారు,
చెప్పండి.
ఇది యాడ్ లోకల్ ఇప్పుడు ఫీచర్స్ మోర్ ఉంటాయండి, నంబర్ ఆఫ్ ఉంటాయి.
ఎన్నైనా
ఎన్ని-
ఉండొచ్చు. We can have
అంటే
any number of features.
మీన్
Uh,
దట్ వన్ ఈజ్ సేమ్ ఫర్ ఆల్, రైట్? ఆర్ we need
I didn't get you అండి. Any-
పవర్ షెల్ స్క్రిప్ట్ సేమా లేదంటే నంబర్ ఆఫ్ ఉంటే ఏమన్నా చేంజ్ ఉంటుందండి?
Script is one only. Script is one only. Okay. The
Okay.
feature you will select will depend. If you want to install some particular features like feature 1, feature 3, okay, you can install that particular features. If you think you want all the features, you can install without this property also. Okay. You can install directly like this, or else you can install like this also.
If we want that feature, then only we need to add this.
If you want only particular features
Only
to be
feature,
installed, if you want to ignore some features and install only few particular features, then
Okay.
in some case there will be something like some .NET and some other application in the same application also. Okay. In some application there can be some options only. First option can contain shortcuts. Okay. Second option can contain some additional files which are not needed for your requirement. You only need few files and shortcut. You are not bothered about other files. Okay. Your requirement, your project only requires that particular shortcut to work. So you think that that particular feature is enough for you. Okay. You want to save your memory. What we will do by ignoring other features, you will save your space, right, in the system.
Yes.
In the console also, while you are doing, you'll save the space in the SCCM console. You'll save the space in the user's machine. Okay. So and all this will happen. So whatever is required, you will select that only. While installing, as I showed you, if there are multiple options, what we will do, you will select only which are required for you. Okay. Here image is not clear, but The options are Visual C++, Visual C hash, J hash, like that. So whatever is required for you, you will check that, right? And you will
Yes.
uncheck all the options which you don't require. Similarly, you will give the feature name here if whatever you want. If there are multiple features, then you can install them all. Okay. You choose to install all, or you can choose to install the features like this. Feature 2, feature 3. You can give the name of the feature.
Okay.
Feature names ఎలా ఉంటాయంటే see, this is the feature table and this is the feature. And what is the name of the feature? The feature name is product feature.
Product feature.
You want to install only this particular feature, then you can give add local is equal to this particular product feature. Okay, this is what I'm showing. Here we have given add feature. Okay, then only that particular feature will be installed. Assume there are multiple features here. I think in 7-zip will have. I'll try to open one more quickly.
Without a tool, we cannot get future details, Amulya garu.
Without tool.
When we- in-
So tool means you will have Orca only. Orca is one more tool which is a free tool. Okay.
Okay.
Other than advanced installer, you have Orca. Okay. I'll show
Okay.
you that one also. So with that also you can open and check what are there. Okay. Or you can observe the log, that will also show you. And the next class I'll tell you about the log and all, because I intended to tell today only few. Should be there. Okay. Okay. Let's don't deviate. I'll note it down and I'll tell it in the next class. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
That okay. Orc and logs. Mm. Okay. Then if you see that I have opened one more MSI. This is a 7-zip MSI and it has 2 features. If you see, I'm on the feature tab. Okay. And there are 2 features. So we can install whatever we need it. Okay. So let me roughly run this 7-zip once. I'm manually running it. Okay. If you see here in this tab, you have an option to select. Okay. How you will select? There is no checkbox, right? You can click on this drop down button here. Okay. And you will get will be installed on local hard drive, enter feature will be installed, enter feature will not be unavailable. Okay. You are concerned about whether it is available or it is not available. అంటే మీరు available చేయాలి లేదా unavailable చేయాలి. Okay. I'm clicking on entire feature will be unavailable. Means I don't want this feature to be installed. So I'm just selecting this option, and while installing only this particular program files will get installed. This is how I'm choosing manually which feature to install. This is the feature we are talking about. Okay. So if I want to install only this doesn't have. Okay. This doesn't have an option. Maybe this is the main files without which the application cannot work. Okay. In that case only you won't have an option to deactivate it or unselect it. Okay. These are the features we are talking about. And same way by using add local, we can install like this. In the add source also same only. But what is the change? That it will choose from the location, some other location. Okay. Add source is also similar. The installing path will differ. Okay. And one more thing, one more question I would like to give you. Okay. Please note it down. I'll ask and you have to volunteer yourself. Add local and add source. If you are using both in one MSI, okay, using both in an MSI installation, then which will act accordingly. Okay, you're using both add local and add source in an MSI installation, then what will be the installation behavior? What it will choose? If I give in add local is equal to all and add source is equal to feature 1 to install, okay, what is the scenario?
Amulya, I read about it.
Yeah,
It's
Sweet.
like ad local will be having highest precedence, right?
Okay, go ahead. I'm just listening. Yeah.
So, as it has the highest precedence, this property will be evaluated first. So, it will install all the features first because it is given add local equal to all.
If it
Then,
is, okay, then ad source will be installed. Huh?
yeah, then again, so this feature one will be installed from the source.
Okay, okay, that is right only. But I want you to go through again. Like consider the scenario when ad local is all and ad source is feature one. You installed everything by ad local, right? Feature one also. Then what we'll do with ad source is equal to feature one.
That's what it should. In this case, if it is there in both locations, add local equal to all means it will be installing all the features from the in the first scenario. It will be installed when it encounters this first property. It will install from the local place. Then again, when it encounters the second part, it will install from the source part. This feature one alone. Overwriting. That's what I thought. Means
No, overwriting won't happen actually. Okay, since it's already installed. Even if it starts the installation, the product is already present on the system, right? So it will detect that this feature is already present and this should stop.
Okay.
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 Anyway, give a reading on that. There is one more scenario where they will give priority for ad source. So I want you guys to make your own notes and read this point and tell me clearly in the next session. Okay, Sitaram and Prince, you also should tell me. Okay, these are all interview questions, guys. If you ignore, right, and it will be like taking training will be like not much useful. Okay, you have to read by yourself also. Okay, guys, let's move into the topic. Other people joined or not? Anita, okay, yeah. Mhm. Okay, today I want to tell you about what is an MSI. Okay, what is an MSI? It is a Microsoft installer. It works based on the Windows installer behavior. Okay, Windows installer is something related to the OS which is predefined. Okay, this is already present in the OS. This is nothing to do with our packaging tools or anything. Whatever we install, that works based on the Windows installer properties which is already there in your base operating system. Windows installer is created and operated by Microsoft. Okay, this is by default there in the our systems actually. Okay, so based on that particular logic only, the Microsoft installer will install. MSI means Microsoft installer. Okay, and what does it contain? What does the MSI contain? MSI contain all the information to install and uninstall an application. Okay. MSI has all the information and what it depends upon, how it works, how what it contains actually. Till now we talked about it also. See, here is a structure for the MSI. If you see here, what is it? Product. Okay. And under project, there are features. Okay, these are features. 7-zip is a feature, and then under this there is program files and location files. Okay, sorry. 7-zip is a product and it has features called program files and localization files. Okay, these are the two features. So these features can also be seen in the table. Okay, here as I told you. So you can it is a combination of features and also inside the features there are components. Okay, what are components? Components are nothing but files, registries, whatever the application have. Okay, when you complete installing this, what you will get? You will get a group of files installed in some location and also some registries related to it and a control panel entry. Okay, mostly the application contains files and registries only. Okay, so here there are two features as you're seeing. This is the same structure here they're showing. If you select this particular features to install, whatever components are assigned to this particular feature, okay, these are all the components assigned to this feature. These all will be installed. If you see, beside the component, there is a path, program file, 64 folder, 7-zip, 7.exe. So these are all components have some information. These are all related to files till this help and install reg upload. These are all the registries and there are some DLLs also. Okay, so what is a component means? Component will contain files, registries, and some OCX files. Okay, let me go through this. First, the structure is, if somebody asks you like what is the structure of an MSI? Structure of MSI is like it is a product. MSI is a product and it has the features in it. It has features in it, features and also components in it. What are the features? Features are the bundle of components. Features contain components. What are these components again? Components contains files and registries. Means overall, the MSI is nothing but a components. Components are files and registries. These components are grouped together. Means one particular file, like 2 or 3 files are grouped together as component one. Okay, assume 2 3 files are kept under component 1. Okay, and some other registries are kept under component 2. Okay, so these are all components divided into like this. What is a component? A component is a file, registry, or a OCX file. And like this, you can have multiple components, and these components are kept under the features. Let me know if you have any doubts. See, these are all the components. This particular component contains this file. Okay, this component is kept under program files feature. So this feature contains components, different components, and this component contains files and registries, and the whole features, components, and everything together forms a product called MSI. Okay, this is the architecture or structure of MSI. If they ask you in the interview, this is the answer. Product is the MSI, and features are nothing but a components, and features can have sub components as well. Sorry, sub features as well. Okay, sometimes a feature can have sub features. See, this is a feature, right? I can create one more feature, new feature called test. So I have created a new feature. If I want, I can add a new component here and new files here, and then I can map it. Okay. This point I'm telling you is like feature can have a sub feature. If somebody asks you what is a feature, what is a feature? Sitaram, go ahead. What is a feature?
Feature, it's components of
Feature is a bundle of components, and feature can have a sub features as well. Okay. Prince, what are the components?
Files and registry, the part of feature.
Okay. Files and registers are called components, and these components are added to particular features. If I want my component 1 to be there in the feature 1, or I will be adding to that feature 1. If I want my component 2 to be there in feature 3, I can map it. Okay. So features are nothing but a bundle of components, and each feature can have a sub feature also. What is a component mean? Components is the files, registries, or OCX files. The structure of MSI will be like this. It will have a product and the features, and features can have a sub feature also, and this can have a components like this. AppDR and product information are the components here. As I showed you, features we can select, we can have sub features, and we can select like this, like 7-zip also I showed you, right? These are the feature part. If there are some sub features under this also, program files also, we can select that feature, or we can deselect that feature using this options. Okay. And then we can proceed further. How we can select it? We can select the features using add local and add source property. Okay. Okay. If there is any sub feature for the particular feature, okay, the feature has a sub feature. This is a feature, and this is a sub feature. So if a sub feature installs, if this get installed, that means that this particular feature is also getting installed. Means if the child get installed, we call it as a child also, child feature. If the child feature get installed, the particular feature will get installed, because if you see this, you're going to select హోల్ ఫీచర్ ఓకే మీరు సెలెక్ట్ చేసుకున్నారు హోల్ ఫీచర్ నే సెలెక్ట్ చేసుకోగలరు you can only select the whole feature you can't select a particular component in the feature to be installed okay you don't have an option to select particular component you have an option to select only feature so if you are selecting the particular component also the whole feature will get installed in the interview question they'll ask you if a particular sub feature is installing will the parent feature get installed yes if a sub feature is installing the parent feature will get installed okay so if a parent feature to install will the sub feature install means see if here this is the parent feature and this is the sub feature so if you are selecting test alone while installing right you have one more option here called test so that particular test we can select just like I'll explain you here see here here are the sub components what are the sub components under language tools you have sub features you can select visual c plus and web developer anything you want if you want only particular two features you can select that sub features also so whatever you install whenever you install a parent feature it is not necessary for the sub feature to automatically install you're clicking the language tools but you're unchecking some other options in it okay when you have multiple features the scenario will be like this and we are unchecking you have an option to select few options here these are all features in this case okay so when you are installing a parent feature it is not necessary that you install a sub feature okay so you can read on it more okay this is just a question when okay you can go through that if you have any doubts we'll discuss one day because I want to cover the tables also now okay in an msi there are many tables if you see the tables can be seen under table editor okay these are all the tables okay and now today we are discussing about features feature table will contain features what are all the features present in the particular product or the msi that will be present here okay and components what it will have components will have what are all the total components present in the particular product you will have okay and each component will have its own id okay this is also important each component will have its own id each components will have its own id called GUID okay and this is the unique id okay this is a unique id for each component if you fail to install particular component right it will error out using this particular GUID only okay if you see this GUID it is same till here but this has changed from here so every GUID or every component id is different and unique okay and every component will have a associated with a different feature also that where you will see which feature this component is mapped to this particular component is belonging to which particular feature how we will know that all is connected here feature and component if you see this table the feature component table will give you the information about the linking this particular install cu component is under the program feature okay so the linking part if you want to know which feature it is in you can select like this okay. And feature will contain this one and component will contain the component table do you have any doubts till now in msi everything will be
Okay.
yeah somebody had
అమ్ములేను
yeah
ఇది జియోఐడి విల్ అదే ఎన్ని ఫీచర్స్ అంటే అన్నిటికి ఉంటుందండి జియోఐడి
not for features for the
అలానే ఉండదు
components for the components for each component
ఓకే
there will be GUID not for the feature only okay each component because what is a
ఓకే
feature is nothing but a bundle of components at the end right even the feature have a sub features also what is there in the feature is nothing but a bundle of components and each component have some files registries or anything so the component is the main point here and the component is saved as a GUID how you will identify a component the main thing is like by a GUID this is also have name but these names are used in other MSIs also, right? So to make it generic, it make it unique. ఈ నేమ్స్ వేరే MSI లో కూడా ఉంటాయి కదా. సో హౌ మనం కాంపోనెంట్ ని ఎలా చేయగలం అంటే ఒక GUID ఇప్పుడు ఒక MSI ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసినప్పుడు ఒక ప్రొడక్ట్ కోడ్ ఉంటది కదా. We have a product code for an MSI.
Okay.
Similarly, we
Yes.
have a GUID for the component ID. Okay, each component is identified with the
Okay.
GUID, and
Okay.
this GUID comes into picture regarding the component when you have an error. Okay, when you have an error, that error will give you that GUID only. That will error out like this particular component with this GUID is failed or not working appropriately. Then you will come to the component table, search with that GUID, and then you can rectify it like where it went wrong. Okay. And then, okay, let's go by the feature table. Okay, feature table, right? We talked about feature table. There can be n number of tables. We can control the installation of feature. Like we discussed, right? If I want to install that particular feature only, how we will install? By using add local property or add source property, we'll install the any particular feature we want to install. But I don't want to use any kind of properties. Okay, see, I have forgotten this property, or I am not sure how to use this property, or I don't want to use this property. Then how I can do it? I can do it using the here table. Okay, this install level, you're seeing this one, right? So this install level property, by changing this value, I can make the feature either disable or enable. Okay, I can enable the feature or disable the feature. For this, we'll use a property called install level property. That is, one second. See, here there is a property called install level property. Okay, in the property table. So I will choose the here of the Chautan Vinandi. Read this. The install level property is the initial level at which the features are selected on. Means by setting the install level property and using the level tab in the feature, this level value tab in the feature, we can make it either enabled or disabled. So what we should keep the level property? A feature is installed only if the value in the level field of the feature table is less than or equal to the current install level value. Okay, the feature is installed only if level field value is less than or equal to the current install level property. Okay, so the my install level value is 100. Okay, so when I come to feature table, this level number should be less than the install level value. Install level value is 100, so my value should be less than that install level value or equal. Here one is less than 100, right? That is fine. 100 is also same to install level. Less than or equal to install level is fine. If I am keeping something like 101 here, this will check the install level property and won't get installed. Okay, if the feature level value is greater than the install level property కంటే కూడా ఓకే ఇక్కడ ఎక్కువ ఉంటే, if the level value is greater than the install level value property, that particular feature won't get installed. Okay, if this is less than that particular value only, that will get installed, less than or equal to. Okay, if that is difficult for you, you can remember like the level value should not be greater than this one. Level value should not be greater than install level value. Okay, understood? Prince, you understood?
Little confused. Maria.
Confused, huh? Okay. Here, see, to install a particular feature, what I did, I used add local, right?
Yes.
Here, see, I want to install here there is a feature called program. This is the name of the feature. If I want to install using add local, what I'll do like I'll give the feature name here.
Pictures.
Feature name here. Okay, only this name will be enough to install. Similarly, if I don't want to use it, okay, but I want to make the changes in the MSI itself. I want to this particular feature to install, okay, program feature to install. So what I should do, I should go to the this level property level tab and check what is the value for this program. Here level 1 is the value for this particular feature called program.
Okay.
1, right? The value is 1. I want only this particular feature to be installed. So I should check this value. My value is 1, but now what I should check? I should go to property, go to install level. Okay, here in the properties, there will be a property called install level. Install level property is how much? 100. 100, right?
Yes.
Now, here the feature which I want to be installed should have this level value as less than or equal to that install level value. Okay, this 100 value, this 100, here the particular level value should be less than 100 or equal to 100. Here I should give a number which is less than 100 or equal to 100. Then this particular feature will get installed. If I'm giving more than 100, 101,
Not install.
103, this
It will not install.
feature won't install.
Okay.
Why it won't install? You should not give value more than this. You should
Yes.
verify this value 100. If it is 100, you should come to the feature table. You should
It will
have
install.
a number not greater than that value. Okay. Your number should not exceed that install level value.
Less than or equal under it will install.
Less than or equal. You should not cross that value. You should remember, like, you should not cross this value. You should be equal to or under this value only. Okay. Equal or less than. You should not cross 100.
Okay.
If it is 80,
It will install.
no. Here install level property itself is 80.
80.
Here in my feature, I am giving some 97.
It will not install. Right?
It will not install because it exceeded. You should give either 80 equal to the install level, or you should give 79, which is less than the install level, anything. Okay. Okay. Got it right? Others also.
Okay.
Anandar, you got it right? I know you know it. Okay. We talked about install level value. Anita, you have any doubt?
So far, nothing.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. And one job I gave you is like find out which will come first, add local and add source. Okay. And now I'm giving you one more task, like what is the level value is equal to 0. Okay. Can there be level value with 0? And if there is no install level property in the MSI, assume that there is no install level property in the MSI. Okay. You can note it down, please. What will happen? Can you install the features? How can you manage the features? Okay. I want all of you to note it down. Okay, I'm repeating the question. You have to find out what will happen if the install level value is 0. Can this be 0? If there is no install level property at all in your MSI, this property is not defined, what will happen? How you can manage your features? Okay. You're done, you noted. Okay, guys. Then this feature table is fine. Then how we will install means after giving this, you will save this. Okay. You will save this MSI. some error is coming. Okay. Anyway, you after making changes, you should save this MSI and you can just install it like this. Okay. Just save the MSI and install it like this so that the whatever changes we made, whatever the level property we changed that accordingly. If I change the localized files property as a more than the install level value, right? This particular feature will be disabled like this. Okay, based on the level property, this will be automatically disabled and we can install it. Okay, you have to save it and install it, and while installing it will show you like this. If I made this particular value as more than the install level property, that then this localized files, okay, the title is localized files, the feature name is language files. So this particular feature will be disabled and it will allow the other features to be installed. Okay, and after this feature component table. I already told you, right? Feature component table will show you the feature information and that particular component associated with it. This particular component is under this feature and this component is under language feature. So if by using feature table, you can see the association or connection between feature and component, to which feature that particular component belong. Okay, same thing. Okay, and coming to the components, what does a component contain? Component contain a file or a group of files. Okay, it can be a folder and files, it can be a file, it can be a group of files, and it can also contain a COM object. Okay, COM object means component object model, which are nothing but DLL, EXE, OCX. Okay, some particular files which are related to the configuration of the system. Okay, those files can also be there in the component, and also registries and shortcuts. Okay, components contain files, COM objects, and registries and shortcuts. See here, this is a shortcut table, and in the shortcut table there is shortcut, and in the program menu, one shortcut is, the two shortcuts are there. One is file manager and one is this help. And you have the particular components. This is the component associated with that particular shortcut. Okay. So shortcuts can be there in a component. Files and registries can also be there. There is also registry table. Here also registry table is there and component associated with it is there. And also you have some install directory where it should install. Those values are there. I just want to tell you like the component contains registries, shortcuts, files. In the table also you can see which particular file is there in which component. Okay. Here are the files. Okay. While you add the files, you will get the particular component created. See, let me add a file here. Here I am just taking a blank part, going to files folders, click on add files. I'm adding one file here, amazon.jar. See, I have added this particular file. Okay, I have not selected any component or feature. I have blindly went to the files and folder section, selected one path of program files and added a file called jar. But I didn't set it feature or component. Okay, I have not selected any feature or component. I just added the file using this add file option. Now you see that table editor. Okay, we come to the table editor and file section. I've added the file and I can see that there is a component associated with it. Okay, the component is already created for it. Okay, automatically created. The point is no need to worry about how where to match the component or where to keep this particular file and all. If you can directly go to the UI section of file and folder, you can directly add where you want to add and that will choose automatically create a component for it. Okay, so here is the amazon.jar. and it got created under program files feature, and it has a path like this. ఓకే. ఒక ఫైల్ యాడ్ చేసినప్పుడు ఆటోమేటిక్‌గా మీకు కాంపోనెంట్స్ అనేవి ఫీచర్ ఏ ఫీచర్ కింద వెళ్ళాలనేది అదే క్రియేట్ అయిపోతుంది. ఓకే. Components are created automatically whenever we add files or registries, etc. Okay. See, I want to show you this. We can move the file to a feature using move to file option. Okay. My file is under some particular feature. Okay. This particular file .jar is under a feature, right? Feature and component is already assigned for this jar file whenever I add it. So I come to the files and folders. I want to move the feature. Okay. I want to change the feature of this particular file. Why we want to change it? Just I told you before, right? Like for in one feature there can be some particular files which you need. In some other feature can be some small feature or some other feature which you can ignore, which you don't want. Okay, just like while installation you are selecting the options, right? Like whatever you require you check it, whatever you don't require you uncheck it. So similarly, in that case, if you're ignoring feature 2, the feature 2 won't get installed. So I want to place my new file in the feature 1. Okay, I want to select this feature for my new file because I want my file to be installed. I don't want the feature 2. So if my particular file is added to feature 2 by any chance by default, I want to change the feature 1, change the feature of this particular file. How will change the feature? Amazon.jar is there, files and folders. Here is an option called move to feature. So click on move to features, it will show the features. These are all the features. So I'm changing it to localization files and clicking on OK. Okay, so now my particular application will be in a component and the feature will be changed. See, this is my component related to my file and this is a feature. Okay, so I change the feature for the particular file. You can also change the components also like that. Okay, there is an options called here you can explore move to component. Okay, if you want to change the component of a particular file you can move it. If you want to move the particular file to a particular feature also you can move it. Here also you can see the particular features actually here. Okay, so you can see the features and select, or you can just click on move to and select. You got the options, right? I'll also provide you this documentation what I created. Now you have learned like we can move files to different features based on the requirement. Sri Lakshmi, you got it, like why we moved the feature, in which scenarios we will move the feature?
Yes, Amulya. If we don't need a feature, so then we can move whichever we are not required, we can move those files to the feature which we are not going to install. That's what you told, right?
That is one point. I told the other positive point also. This is also right. If you don't want a particular file, you can move it to other feature and disable that feature. But if you want a particular file, you are not installing all the features. You are installing only feature 1. You have two features, feature 1 and feature 2. You are installing only feature 1. In that, I want this file to be installed. But this file is in feature 1, feature 2, sorry. It's in feature 2, but I am installing only feature 1. So this particular file is not coming for me while installing, after installing. So in that case, I should move this file to feature 1 first using this option and then I will install it. Okay. Once you got it,
Got it, Amulya.
got it, right? Okay. Okay, I showed you how to create a new feature also, right? If you want to create some features by yourself, usually we won't.
The feature, the many feature, right?
There are many features you're telling.
Feature. The last feature you are moving to first one.
Mm.
That one, right? That one telling, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Sri Lakshmi, if you don't mind, can you repeat in Tamil? Hello?
No, Amulya, I'm not Tamil. My
You're not
language is Malayalam.
Oh, sorry. I thought.
No problem.
Yeah, yeah. No, I can tell you in English, but I thought maybe a mother language will give a clear. Okay. We have Kirtana? No. Okay. Okay, I'll repeat it. See, Prince. I have a file, okay, which is in this program files feature. Okay. I have this particular file. It is in program files feature, but I am not installing this feature. I'm only selecting these localized files while installing. Okay.
Okay.
Feature I don't want to select.
Program files.
My required file is here. So what I will do, I will move this particular file to this feature.
Okay.
How
That's a feature.
how I'll move? I go to the files and folder section and select that particular file. Any file we can choose. Okay, see this one I'll tell you. If this is the particular file we want to move, you can just click on it, go to the files and folder shortcut above, and here is an option called move to feature. Click on move to feature and select the feature. You have features here, right? Localized files and program files are the features.
Okay.
So you will select localized files so that this file will transfer to this localization files.
Okay.
When you select this and click OK, that will internally make changes and that will be installed other feature.
Localized.
And you can cross check here in the feature component table whether your particular file is moved to this feature.
Okay.
Okay. This is the component related to your file. Where is your file component? See, here is the component and here your file got added. Okay.
Okay.
File table also you can see. File table, this is your file. This is the component related to your file. Now you know the component name and you come to the feature component table and you will see this component is containing the feature, this one. Okay, you should map accordingly, like where is my file, under which feature. First, you should find out what is the component that is associated, and then you could, instead of searching for this file name, you should search for this component name in the feature component table. Okay.
Okay.
You can also have a search here. If you want to use Control F only is a search. Okay. It will show you the particular component and the feature and all. If you search also here. Component, feature, file name. Okay. Like this. Okay. We can move the files to different features.
Okay.
Okay. We can create features also if you want. Okay, here, come to that organization tab, product, and click on it, new feature. Okay. Click new feature, you will get a new feature created. If you want to create a sub feature inside this is the main feature here. And if you want to create one more feature under it, you have to select that and then click on new feature. And one more feature will be added.
Sub feature.
Okay. So one interview question is like, if you select particular this sub feature, right? Will the parent feature will get installed? Okay, this is my child or sub feature. Okay. I told you earlier also. Child or sub feature, this is the main feature. So whenever you install a child feature, that particular main parent feature will also get installed. Okay. This feature level also please give a try. This is actually I'm telling up to 3 to 4 years experienced only. But if you want to explore more, please search it. Okay. Feature level installation. Sri Lakshmi, you can also go through this feature level installation. How the installation will happen if you select some particular sub feature or some particular feature or the whole feature. So this is a concept is there. So you can go through that.
Okay.
Okay. Guys, I'm good. I think I'm done. There are also component rules. Shall I go? Okay. Okay, I'll quickly tell you the component rules and we'll take a break for 10 minutes. Okay. What is a component? What is a component? Component is a file registry or a particular OCX file we find, right? So there are some component rules. This is an interview question. Okay. First thing is like the component is having a GUI ID, okay, and it should have a unique GUI ID, and you should never create two components that install the same resource using the same name and same location. Means you should not create a component, duplicate component. You have created a component for this file amazon.jar, and you should not create any duplicate component for it. You should not create one more component and add this particular file again, and you should not do that. You should have a single component for that file. Okay, you should not duplicate component. You should never create two components that install a same resource, means that install a same file using the same name and the same location. Okay, you should not use the same file, and you should not use it with the same name and the same location. Okay. Mm. Two components cannot install the same resource. Or what is the meaning? It should not install the same file or registry. Two components should be unique. One component should install some file, the other component it should install some other file. It should not install the same file or resource. Resource means nothing but file, registry, or something. Okay, component. Two components cannot have the same key path file. What is a key path file? Every component will have a key path. Okay, here every component is a component table, and every component here has a key path. Okay, this file should be there for sure. If this particular key path file is removed, right, that particular component won't work as appropriately. Okay, if these many files are there, okay, so if some particular key path is missing here, then that particular component may not work as expected. How we will know whether it is a key path or not? You can come to the table, and here you can see that what is a key path here. You see, if there are some 2-3 files in a particular component, but that particular key path file, okay, see that same component. Here all are different components only. Okay, if you assume that in some component, right, some single component, if there are multiple files, in that case, if the particular file is removed, see, if you assume like, see, assume like these two are the parts of a component. Okay, component one. Then if this is the key path of the component. Okay, this is the key path. This is a assumption only. Okay, this is a key path. Oh, sorry, I'm creating in the remote location. Component one. This component contains a key path file, which can be some DLL or some normal file, some registry, anything. Okay, other files. Okay, you have some different paths for a component. This component contains some files, and this is the key path of that component. This is the main file of that component, which we call it as the key path. Okay, so if this particular file is removed, okay, if that particular file is removed, this component won't work. So the key path is important for a component, and every component should have a key path. Okay, every component should have a key path. This should not be empty. You should not create any empty components. You got it right? Every component will have a key path, and if that path is not there, it won't work. Two components cannot have the same key path file. Okay, you can't add the same file in two components, and you can't make one particular file as key path to two components. Okay, you should not add the same resource or same file in the component. You should not have a same key path for different components. A component must be compatible with all previous versions of the component. Okay, just like if one particular version is installed and you are updating that particular version with a patch or an upgrade, then the previous files which are already installed in your installation directory should be compatible. Okay, anyway, this compatibility will be taken care by the vendor. So no need to worry about it. This is just an interview question you should mug up. And then all resources of a component must installed to the same directory. See, there are several components, component 1, component 2. But what is the scenario? This particular component, whole component should install to some particular directory only. Assume this component should install to C Intel some other one. Okay, this is the path it is intended to install. Okay, so if the particular one component have different files right here, you should not install a.txt in some location and you should not change the directory for some other file. Whatever the files are there in a particular single component should be installed to single directory. Okay, what is the directory? Is nothing but a path. Okay, installation directory, you know, right? Like that only every single component should be installed to particular path only. Different files in a component cannot be installed to different paths. Hope you're clear. Okay, there can be only one COM server per component. Okay, what is a COM server we talked about? There are files called .dll, .ocx. Okay, some system related files we have, and these files should not be there in different components. See, I have a component 1. Okay, and it has a .dll. So this component cannot have another file like .ocx. Okay, means one COM file should be there in one component only. Means component 1 contain either .dll or OCX. It should choose one file only. The other file should be accommodated in a other component. Okay, two COM files cannot be present in a same component. There can be only one COM server per component. The COM server must be the key path. Means if a component contains some different files, okay, some different files, then these are the three files present for a component. And if there is a COM file, this COM file should be the key path. You should not keep other things as key paths. Okay, key path is like a boss for the component. You should make that particular COM component only the key path. You cannot make the other normal files as key paths when there is a COM component. Okay, and only one file component can be target of a desktop or a program menu shortcut. Okay, and for shortcuts, particularly shortcuts, the component should be a single component. Okay, component 3 for shortcut 1, and for other shortcut, if the location is different, then you should keep the shortcut in different component. Okay, guys, clear? If this is not clear, please go through the component rules. Okay,
Amulya,
yeah.
all these are applicable when we do capture only, right? Otherwise, do we have to edit all these things like key path changing checking all these things.
Not only capturing, actually this doesn't come under capturing, right? Why we will capture an MSA?
Not for MSI, when for legacy applications, when we capture and create, that time we will have to arrange components and everything, right?
Okay. Working, that creating components and all, that is also correct only. Okay. After setup capture, if you want to make some changes and all, you can do. In MSI also we can do. While creating MST or something, if you have a requirement like to add some 1, 2 files, okay. So in that case also, what you will do, you won't capture, right? If you have to add some files or something, delete some files. Then
Yeah, that
come
time
to
we
the
have to
MSI
create
and we'll create an MST. Most probably the MSI MST is the preferred one if you have an MSI. Okay. So if you have some legacy applications, that is a different part that you should go with the setup capture. Okay. So mostly whenever you have an MSI, whether that MSI is output of an capturing, or if the MSI is a vendor MSI, or if the MSI is created by a tool also, you should follow the rules. Okay. If you don't follow the rules, that will give you errors and that particular functionality won't work. Just now I made some changes and this is not building, right?
Yeah.
So like that it can happen. So we should be very careful and we should find the root cause. Other than doing something and getting error, if we are following the rules which we know, we don't get the errors, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a structure created like earlier
Vendor.
created, yeah. So we can't change the structure. They have created the structure and they have made some rules. So we should follow the rules to use that particular features.
Okay.
Okay. And this is definitely an entry question up to the 4 years. Everybody will ask it like, what are the rules? What you will follow? What is the key path?
Okay.
Okay, guys, this is add local. I'm giving in the chat. See if you can copy. I already copied one URL. See if all of you can copy it. If you can copy it, I'll copy the questions over there. Guys, anybody can copy? Okay, I'm stopping for now. Okay, for 10 minutes. We'll connect again at 10:30. Okay. Sorry, I'm talking on mute. We'll connect at 10:30. Okay, I'm taking a short break. I'll show you the SSM console now after this.
Okay.